Good morning. Welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. How are you all doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Just got out of church, a wonderful church service for communion this morning. And it's Cinco de Mayo today, which is our actual anniversary. We went out last night and had a wonderful steak dinner at a place in West Point called Anthony's. And we had the best waiter. He was young too. Like, I'd be surprised if he wasn't still like a teenager. But he was on it, man. He was like top shelf, top tier, which always makes your dining experience that much better. Like, even if the food isn't like amazing, if you have an amazing waiter, sometimes that just makes all the difference, especially for people that don't get out much. It just makes the experience nice. So kudos to Anthony's for having good wait staff. But we had a lovely evening together. We worked Friday I had processed, I didn't even tell you guys about all this yet. Lord have mercy. Friday, you guys may remember the saga of the chicken plucker from last week. Mike was backing out the tractor. I had left the chicken plucker under the overhang of the shop because I knew I was going to be processing again in a couple of weeks. And I had tucked the cord up into the plucker and put a board over it to keep it dry, keep it, safe, even though it was under the overhang, just to protect it a little bit. And you should find is like a barbecue cover for it. That's a good idea. Anyway, see how easily I get distracted? But when he was backing the tractor out, it was in kind of a tighter spot. As he was turning it out, the bucket grabbed the corner of the cord and ripped it right out of the motor. So that was fun. And he was like, I'm not sure if I can fix this. I'm gonna have to take it apart and investigate a little bit. Well, luckily he was able to get it fixed last week. Hark and praise. So I did not have to process birds without the assistance of said chicken plucker. However, I got everything set up that morning, Friday morning. I had to finish quickly editing a video that Mike had shot for 3 Mississippi. He'd given me the footage, and it was an easy video to edit, but it still needed some zhuzhing. So, I did that, and that took, that was like 2 hours of time that I wasn't planning on spending editing that morning, but I ended up doing that. So it kind of set me behind on starting the birds. So I'm hurrying up to finish getting everything set up. I had kind of collected everything, but I hadn't set it all up officially yet. So I was, dragging out the plucker from the shop after he'd fixed it. And I was, setting up the propane tank and the big pot for my scalding and doing all that kind of stuff, right? And get it all going. I get the scalding pot going, and it takes a while for the scalding pot to come up to temp, right? Because you need it at least at 150. Somewhere between 150 and 160 in that range, because it's hard to keep it exactly at the same temperature, but you got to get it in that range, right? And so it's up to temp. I'm like, cool. I had already gone out to the pasture and collected 6 birds, hefty birds, so I didn't want to cram them in too tightly into my little carrier. And I started on the first couple birds, and I'm going like gangbusters, guys. I was making good time. I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to do 20 birds today. This is awesome. I love this for me right now. I'm excited. About the 3rd bird in, I had just finished eviscerating the 2nd bird. The 3rd bird was in the cone, done, ready to be dunked. And something that you may or may not know about me, you may have heard me mention it in other videos, I am extremely paranoid. I don't know if it's because I grew up in the 80s when every other story on the news was about like a pressure cooker blowing up in someone's face or things of that nature. I have always been super scared, like when Mike pressure cans stuff in the kitchen, even though he's done it 100 times, I am terrified of it. I won't touch the pressure cooker. It just scares me. Like, I'm just afraid it's gonna blow up. I don't go near it. I try to stay out of the kitchen. I don't let Frankie go in there until it's done. Like, I just don't like it. And I'm the same way with my Instapot. I am super paranoid about my Instapot. I'm less scared of it though, but I won't move it on the counter even a 1/4 of an inch once it's on, because I'm afraid that if I move it, it's like a bomb and it's gonna go off. Okay. I'm the same way about those little propane tanks. I don't trust them. I feel like they are little portable explosive devices, and they freak me out, not gonna lie. So I'm always a little extra paranoid when I'm doing chickens about keeping an eye on the propane tank. And thank the Lord I am, because something was telling me, and you know what was funny is I even remember once or twice when the wind kind of shifted, I thought, I smell gas. That smells like propane. And then I kind of looked and I didn't see anything out of ordinary. So I just thought, okay, everything's fine, and I'm, losing it, or I thought I smelled it or whatever. So anyway, cut to me just thinking, I'm going to walk around the whole tank and look, because it was set up kind of sideways to me. So I could only see one angle and, well, one other side of it. So I walk around and poke my head, and what do I see? The cord that goes from the burner directly to the tank that the pot is sitting on, the burner, fire going up the line, big old flame coming out of the line, and the part of it was just melting away. And I thought, this is it, this is how I die. I have never moved so fast in my life, folks. I ran over there, I turned off the gas, I got it, out, nothing exploded. But then I thought, well, shoot, now I don't have hot water for only a few more birds. So I hustled and did, I think about I did 2 more birds as fast as I could, so that the water wouldn't cool down too much, which it started to on the last one. It was a little trickier. The Plucker kind of didn't get everything like it would if it had been the right temp water. So I'm scrambling to get this done. So then I'm like, well, I either stop now at 6 birds, or I come up with an alternative way to heat this water. And I thought, okay, well, I can't really set it on the Blackstone to keep the water hot, because that's like, it might work, but not really ideal. So really the only thing that I could do at that point that was not going to take way too long to set up was start a new pot inside and just bring 2 birds in at a time, dunk 2, and carry them back out and leave the stove at like a holding temp as best I could, even though I wasn't gonna be able to be in there monitoring it. So that's what I did. I got one of those big trays, I put 2 birds in a time, brought them in, dunked them, took them out, plucked them. And I did 12 birds that way. Now obviously having to regroup and do all of that took longer. My plan was to get through 20 birds, and if everything had gone on schedule, if I had started the birds when I initially had wanted to instead of editing a video, if the propane tank hadn't tried to revolt and kill me, and if all of the resetting up of everything else hadn't taken a little while, I would have been able to get through the 20 birds. So that was a little bit of a bummer. I was like, but I did get 12 done, which of the big ones, which really did lighten the load in the tractor. So I've got, several more that I want to get done, about 8 more of the big ones in there that I really want to pick off this next week. So I'm thinking maybe, Mike did order a new burner, by the way, and he also ordered a new tube to fix the one that busted. So we'll have 3 altogether, because the other one he ordered is a double split burner, which will be nice to have for, stuff. But anyway, provided that shows up in time, I'm hoping I can do another group of birds on Friday and lessen the load even more. So that's my theory, that's my plan. But at least, the only thing that would be barbecued was the birds that day, and I didn't end up part of the barbecue, because it scared me, guys, so much, and my life flashed before my eyes. And I even asked Mike, I was like, look, how bad was that? Like, was it gonna like explode? Was I gonna die? And he's like, no, it probably would have just, if it melted all the way up and you hadn't realized it and it got to the tank, it would have just been flames kind of looking like it was coming out of the tank, but it most likely wouldn't have exploded. And I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a little better. Still, I feel like that's not a happy scenario. So, and if you follow us on the 3 Mississippi page on Facebook, I think I might have posted on Instagram too, but I'm not sure. If you follow us on there, I did post that on Friday, my little scare. But it was good. And then anyway, so Saturday morning, guys, we got the birds bagged. I put Mike in charge of that. He was going to do it Friday night, but I forget what ended up happening, but he didn't end up doing it Friday night. So he decided, mostly him and Frankie did it. Frankie and I just put them in the freezer. But he got them all labeled for me and weighed and all that, which was nice. Cause I don't know why I would rather process all the birds by myself and then have somebody else bag them. I don't like bagging them. I don't know why. It's not hard. It's not as physically demanding of standing there and doing all the stuff and going and grabbing the birds and catching them all and dragging them back up the hill and all that. I don't know why I would rather process a gazillion birds by myself than have to bag them at the end of the night. I just can't stand bagging them. And it's not a hard thing to do. Bagging and labeling them is like the easiest part. I don't like it. I don't know why. Couldn't give you a good reason. Just don't like it. So anyway, we got them all in the freezer and labeled and ready to go. So that was exciting. Have that kind of checked off the list. And then, you know, that evening we did have to run to Neighbors. We needed to get some supplies for the finishing of the driveway edges, because we are expanding that driveway and allowing for more parking in the front of the house, kind of in front of the porch, where you could just walk onto the porch a little bit more easily. And so this will make it easier for like us to turn around in the driveway as well. It'll make it easier when we have deliveries for them to turn around, especially during the more wet times of year in Mississippi, which we have a lot of. Call that mud season down here. But this will prevent a lot of that, which will be good. And he needed to get the landscaping timbers for that area to kind of block it out, so it'll help kind of hold the gravel in and kind of separate it, make it look cleaner, make it blend in with the porch area a little bit. Because if you guys remember, I did that project last year of adding those timbers to the front of the bed to just kind of make a little line of demarcation a little bit better between that and the lawn. So yesterday, Frankie was tasked with getting the gravel graded. We had a few heavy rains since we started kind of grading that and digging out the extra areas. And because of that, it was a little bit tricky to say, oh, it's still good to go. Like, it needed a little more zhuzhing. Plus there was 2 more areas that needed fixed. So, Saturday, last night, 2 nights ago, as you guys are seeing this, Mike and I were going to go to our anniversary dinner. Frankie didn't want to join us. We asked her, you know, she made her color guard team. She found out Friday night. So I said, well, why don't you come with us and we'll do like a celebration of you making the team and of our anniversary. And she's like, I don't want to be a third wheel, and you guys just go enjoy your night. And what she really wanted was Wendy's. She loves her a Wendy's burger. And so there's Wendy's in West Point. So I was like, okay, we'll bring you Wendy's if that's what you want, you know, if you don't want to come with us, fine. And, but she said, well, I'll stay and work on the driveway. So she did a great job. We get home and I walk in the door and I was like, honey, your food's on the counter. And she's like, okay. She's like, Mom, I got to tell you something. And I was like, okay. I hit the shop. I was like, what do you mean you hit the shop? With the tractor. Hit the shop with the tractor. I didn't want to tell you while you were at dinner because I didn't know if Dad would lose his mind. And I was like, oh, okay, how bad is it? And she's like, it's not good. God love her. I was like, okay, define not good. Well, there's a hole. Okay, well, it's fine. You know, accidents happen. I'm sure it's not as bad as all that. And it's really not that bad. And in fact, guys, I'm going to post a picture on our social media of her little mark that she made, and I'll show you what we did to it afterwards as well. So go check that out on our 3 Mississippi Facebook page or 3 Mississippi Instagram page. and take a peek at that. But you will also see part of all of that and the explanation that she gave in Tuesday's video, where we get the gravel finally. So that's really exciting to get that piece of that puzzle done. Now this is only the first load that's coming. The second load, this is the clay gravel that's coming, which is going to be the beginning of a couple of low spots that we still need to fill in on the other side of the main driveway, and then it's going to fill in that new spot where those new parking places are going to be in front of the porch. The second load is the actual gravel that's going to go everywhere. That's my understanding. That's what Mike said. That's what he said. So anyway, that was that evening. And then we all just kind of hung out in the shop for a little while, kind of chatting with the kiddo, and just had a nice little evening together. And then today, of course, is church. And we do have more, got to get those timbers down and stuff today. Frankie's got, youth group tonight, so I'll be running back into town for that. So not really anything super exciting today for our anniversary, even though it's our actual anniversary. I just, it's just, like I said, it's not a big one. It's 19, maybe next year we'll do something a little fancier for our anniversary. Maybe we'll go on a little getaway or something, since it'll be the big 2-0. We'll see, but we had a really nice little anniversary dinner weekend. So far so good. But yeah, Frankie was pretty funny about that dent that she made on the shop. It really wasn't that bad, but I mean, it left a mark. It left a mark. But it was not that bad. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you. Don't forget to check out the video that hopefully will come out tomorrow in a timely manner on Tuesday on 3 Mississippi. And as always, God bless you, and safety's off.